Good afternoon. Good afternoon. This is Nefertiti, Black CEO, our reporter, here this afternoon with an amazing guest for you this afternoon. I'm super excited because anyone that knows me, they know I am a football head, fanatic fan. And if I can get out there and play, I would. To some people, I have. But you guys have to understand my excitement because today I have the two-time Super Bowl champion, back-to-back, Tyrone Poole in the house. Good afternoon, Mr. Poole. How you doing?
I'm doing excellent, Nefertiti. Thank you for having me on. It's an honor. And as you said, two-time Super Bowl champion. So
That bling bling. Yes.
Bling bling. Yeah, but it's an honor to be on your show. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm excited as well. So, look, we have an amazing show that's going to go forth today. A lot of good information, a lot of good advice, and just some great content, because that's what we like to bring to you as a Black CEO, our reporter, is the content. And Mr. Poole has been doing a lot of things. We all know him as an NFL player, but he's also an author. He's an inventor. He's a trainer, a motivational speaker. He is just doing it big right now. And Mr. Poole, what's on your plate right now? What are you getting into?
Well, right now, the top thing, the most recent or about to happen event is my Ultimate Success in Life Skills seminar. That is scheduled for August the 1st. I can't believe we're already talking about August. Seems like the year just started.
It's just gone.
Gone, exactly. But August 1st through the 2nd is the Ultimate Success in Life Skills seminar, which will be held in my hometown of LaGrange, Georgia.
Okay, great. Now, I know you've written this amazing book called Ultimate Success in the Game of Life. Tell us a little bit about your book.
Well, the book, again, is called Ultimate Success in the Game of Life. It's a great book. It's an inspirational, informative, just power-packed book of 12 dynamic principles that I've learned. As they say, hindsight being 2020, I've learned a lot of wonderful things that not only will help me to be better, but they will help other people become better. Because I feel like life is about principles. And if you can learn them correctly from the right people, then you actually enhance your opportunities of being successful. So the book is called Ultimate Success in the Game of Life. In the beginning of the book, I paint a picture so that people can see how I came up, that they can see that, hey, you know what? You're not the only one struggling. Tyrone Poole struggled, okay? But what kept him, or what helped him to achieve? And the second half of the book, that's where I tell the principles of hindsight being 2020, how I look back and say that the way I talk to myself, what I believed, the people I position myself around. So there are principles that can help you choose the right people to follow, the right philosophies. A lot of people don't have a philosophy about their own life. I have a philosophy about my life, but if you can ever create a philosophy for your life, then I think you give yourself a big kick, head start on being successful.
And you put the key words in it when you said the right people. You can't be around the wrong people. You can't be around the naysayers or the what they call the negative Judies, or you can't be around them. I tell people, if I have an idea, if I say I want to stack a ladder and hit to the stars, you better be telling me how many ladders I need, who's gonna hold it so I won't fall. You need those people. And that is some great nuggets that you dropped with that. So from the Ultimate Success in the Game of Life, what have you launched off that book? How can you people get those principles, not just by reading your book, but how can they get those principles?
Well, most of everything that I do, and I say most because sometimes I don't do everything that I'm supposed to do, but majority of the time, I do try to implement the principles, and that's why I wrote the book. But during my football camps, when I have a football camp, there are life skills that are that I prepare for the young athletes, and the young athletes that my camp caters to are middle and high school athletes. And not only am I teaching them the proper techniques that will take their defensive back abilities to the next level, whether they're playing corner or safety, but I also teach them life skills. I would bring the right people in that have the right background to speak to the kids so they don't just hear it from me, but they hear it from other people too. Because I think sometimes people, you can tell someone over and over and over the right thing, but because they see you every day, it starts to become watered down. But when you bring in other people who speak the exact same thing, then it kind of hits home. And now it begins to sink in. So, but I do apply the principles of the life skills that are in my book into my football camps.
And that is great because we need to start programming our youth, not when they're in high school, not when they're headed to college. We have to get them early now because they are faced with so many different things that can send them on the wrong path.
Yes.
So that's great things that they're going to get the opportunity to learn these principles so that they can drive their own path and not be ashamed. I say go unapologetically. That's what I like to teach and tell, unapologetically. Now, I know that you became a motivational speaker. So what made you do that? What inspired you to become a motivational speaker?
Well, I think first and foremost, I'm a talker. I love to talk. I think if you're going to be a motivational speaker, you got to be a person that loves to talk. But jokingly, I was a shy person when I was coming up. I really didn't talk.
People don't believe that. People don't believe when you shy just because they see you doing this. They don't think that you shy. I am. They don't believe me.
Yes. You can get 3 words out of me. But now I'm like all this wisdom and all of the circumstances. Like I like to tell people, I got the T-shirt, the tattoo. I can tell you all about that story. But being a speaker, someone that inspires others, it's just something that I love to do, whether it's in coaching, standing on a stage and motivating CEOs or employers, employees, or a mom and a dad, or students, or young kids. But I love inspiring. I love motivating. I love it when people come to me and they say, hey, you know, that little principle that you told us about, I applied it, or now I understand it better, and it's really making my life that much more impactful. So whether I'm speaking to 1,000 people or I'm speaking to one person, if I can get anybody to understand what I'm telling them and they go out and have success, then hey, I've had success myself.
Now, I know people are looking at them beautiful trophies that's sitting right there, right there. I see them. They're right there.
That's
and, you know, people, like I said, people know me. I'm a born and raised girl from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So the black and gold rolls real tough in my family. And I know I looked at your career. You hit the East Coast with the New England Patriots. So I'm still loving you. But what was that experience like to get drafted for one, and then to be able to play in one of the world's greatest sports? How was that for you?
Well, I'll tell you this. I'm going to go all the way back to my childhood. People would ask me that question as well as, when did I know that I was going to be a professional football player? Actually, I never knew. I really didn't know until maybe my sophomore going into my junior year of college. But I'll go back and say the seed was planted, I believe, when I was probably about 12 years old. I came into the house one day and my mom was crying. And, sons, they really gonna, pay attention to the mother. And my father wasn't at the house at the time. So I walk in and I'm like, what's wrong, Mom? And she says, I know that God doesn't want us to live like this. So that's why, like in my book, I kind of paint the picture to let people actually see how I came up, because it's easy for people to see the finished product.
Yes.
But they don't actually see the tearing and the growing and the repairing that the product had to go through the process to get to the shiny part. So my mom, I said, don't worry about it. I said, I'm going to take care of everything. I didn't know at that time that I was speaking life, and God had already given me the seed of excellence. And with my passion, growing up in LaGrange, we had tons of great athletes. So I had tons of great practice going against guys who were either at the same level or above. And I think it was just because of my mentality that I wanted to excel in this, because I wanted to do something for my family, that it enabled me to go to Fort Valley, which that is another story in the book, because people ask me all the time, how did you get to Fort Valley? Because my talent, basically not saying anything negative about Fort Valley or any small college, but a lot of people look at me and say, hey, your talent is beyond that. How did you end up in that situation? But I think all things work for the good, and there's a reason for everything. Nothing just happens. But going to Fort Valley enabled me to develop some characteristics, some hardworking traits that once I got into the NFL, it allowed me to stay 14 years. And 12 of those 14, I was a starter. So, then to win championships. So I've been successful on every level. Overcoming is an opportunity to be successful. And then to actually have the proof with the trophies on a professional level. So now that's why I love being a motivational speaker, because I can go and inspire others to say, hey, if I can do it, you can do it too. You just got to bear down, know what you want, and go for it.
And you said it's not all the time. You can have the skills, you can have the talent, you can be the fastest, the hardest hitting, but you shine when you just have that mentality of excellence, especially if that's what you were designed to be first. So that is what that took you over to the next level. And that is an awesome thing for any college student that is looking at this broadcast, or even high school student. It starts with your mindset. You have to get your mindset together. That is an awesome thing. So I know you have this football camp. So I know you touched on it a little bit, but let us know, like, when do you hold the football camps, and a little more information about that.
Yes. Well, the football camp is an annual event. Now, people have told me I should have it more often, but I tell them I have a few things going on. So I'm the type of person, if I can't give you 100%, then I feel like I'm shortchanging you. So when I do it annually, I'm able to give the camp everything that it needs, to give the youth, the young kids, everything that they need. But it's an annual event. It's for defensive backs, and it's kind of like specialized. A lot of camps kids go to, they are a mixture of defensive linemen, linebackers, quarterbacks, wide receivers. But my camp is specifically for defensive back. So if you're a corner or a safety, if you want to be the best, then this is where you come to do your grocery shopping. You're going to get nothing but defensive back information, and now you can take it and apply it to your skill level and go out and be successful. But the camp is every year, once a year. It's normally in April, the last week in April, and I hold it at Grady High School here in Atlanta. So if they want more information, they can go to my website, TyronePoole38.com, or they can email me at info@TyronePoole.com.
Awesome. And I like the fact that it's specific, because sometimes with my experience with my son of going to different football camps, sometimes they're all over the place.
Yes.
And we understand that they just working just to get them out of wherever they are, and just to get them going and get them a little motivated. But they have to understand sometimes you got to fine tune that goal. And if you want to be like the best defensive back, like you said, safety, this is where you go. This is where you go so that you can graze and sharpen your craft. because if that's what you know, now that might be your right now. It's going to move to something else maybe, but that's your right now. So that's a real key thing with your camp that really stands out to me, and I know should stand out to all the viewers that will be watching this video. Now, with tying that in, now I was reading about Mr. Poole, you guys, and I'm like, so he invented what is he out here building here? So when I looked it up, I'm like, T38. I said he walking around here T38, and he got his number on his product. What is T38, Mr. Poole?
T38 is my branding. The T stands for Tyrone, and the 38, of course, is my football number. As you can see, the 38 behind me, Tyrone Poole 38 Foundation. So I'm branding myself. But yes, I am an inventor, and my equipment, the T38 multi-core training system, actually is an apparatus that helps elite athletes to become faster. You can use it for speed. You can use it for plyometrics. You can use it for strength. You can use it for stability. But this is a piece of equipment that you just need this equipment, and that's it. And go find yourself a field, and you don't have to worry about trying to go to the weight room after the workout, because you can lift weights utilizing strength cords to strengthen your muscles. Now, of course, you're not going to look like Mr. Universe with big popping muscles, but that's not what we're trying to target here. What we're trying to target is developing and strengthening the muscles and the ligaments and the tendons that are required for explosive movement, and also to allow you to save time and get everything done in a one place stop shop type of atmosphere. But this equipment is for anyone, whether you are a mom or dad, you're trying to train your kids, and all you need is a backyard. You can use it on grass, you can use it on a track, you can use it on turf, you can actually use it on a basketball court. I wouldn't suggest that, but the way it's made up is multi-use on multi-surfaces.
And it sounds like it's in a natural organic type. So this is hard work. There's no shortcuts with this. This is straight all you trying, building. And I like that, because you have to have strong joints, tendons. This is your career. This is what keeps your body moving. So that's an awesome piece of equipment that you have built, that you have invented, and it's an awesome thing. So I know that you earlier, when I asked you what you were doing, you have an event that's coming up on the 1st and 2nd of August. Give us a little details about that.
Well, again, it's called the Ultimate Success in Life Skills. It's going to be targeting middle school kids, 6th, 7th, and 8th graders, because I feel like that age group, they're at the age where they understand, they're patient, and you can actually teach them a lot. It's kind of like an old scenario or old saying I heard someone use. When you're like a potter, when he does pottery, he's making vases, or she's making vases. They're able to shape it when it's wet. And when are adults easily shaped or transformed is when they are youth. So my targeted age is the 6th, 7th, 8th graders. So with that, I teach them life skills, which comes from my book, Ultimate Success in the Game of Life. And I have a study guide that goes with the book.
Okay.
And between the study guide and the speaking, there are opportunities for physical fitness. The kids learn about physical fitness, which the youth, because of technology, we're becoming kind of lazy, and they're sitting behind computers, and exercise is being lost. It's already being thrown out of the schools.
Right.
So with that, yes. So they get an opportunity to listen for life skills, exercise, and then there are skits that are done to help them to be interactive. So this seminar, I'm actually looking to take it around the world, not just in LaGrange, but it's going to be something annual. LaGrange, Georgia, my hometown, is giving me the opportunity to launch it. But this is something that my next step is to come to Atlanta, to go to Texas, California, New York, Europe, Mexico, Canada. I want to go all around the world, and I want to impact the youth because they are the future.
Absolutely. That's awesome. Taking it around the world. And I like how you said you wanted to start at home first because charity starts
Yes,
at home. And they were your biggest support system because they were running around. See, one thing you don't understand when he won the Super Bowls, they running around in LaGrange like they won too because that's
exactly.
their
That's true.
home. That's their home. So they're walking around just as proud. You would have thought they was walking around with one of them bling blings themselves, but they
Yes.
did to a point because they supported him first. So that is an awesome, awesome thing. Now, I saw something that was very dear to me when I saw what your foundation, you have a foundation called the Tyrone Poole 38 Foundation. Give us a little information about that. And I'm going to ask you about an event that you threw. I really want to hear about that.
Yes. Well, the Tyrone Poole 38 Foundation serves three pillars in the community. Uh, Education, which education is very dear. We know that this day and age, you got to be educated. No longer can you just get away with a degree. You actually got to go to the next step and actually do some understudy and get yourself a MBA or a doctorate if you truly want to be masterful in today's society. But it serves education. The foundation also serves fitness. Again, like I said, the youth, they are losing their sight about their health and just activity. So the fitness part is a very vital pillar for the Tyrone Poole 38 Foundation. And the last one is humanitarian work, just allowing the youth to come on board and get some internship work and also to go out and help the community whenever there are tragic events and people need services. And actually, the humanitarian work started way back when probably my third year in the NFL.
Okay.
I didn't have the foundation at that time, but what I would do, I would go and buy non-perishable goods. And my mom, she would actually get names of people that needed food.
Mm,
And I would come down and drive down and go to one of the local stores and just pile up on food and distribute it to those families or sometimes just single mothers or elderly people who just
yes.
didn't have the support. So the humanitarian work started way before the actual foundation was actually written up.
That's awesome. And your principles, your pillars, education, fitness, and humanitarian. And you were right about education. When I speak to youth, I tell them, please, right now, you cannot just stop at high one. It's almost suicidal to stop at high school because a
Yes.
diploma now, a high school diploma, they're putting that as an equivalent as a GED. And there's nothing wrong with the GED, but for some reason they put that as a lower step. And a bachelor's is like having an associate. So yes, you're right. You have to come walking in the door with the MBA or higher just to come into the door with something to offer. And our
Yes.
fitness, and right now we know our country, unfortunately, is the most obese country in the world, and our youth are sitting there with their phones and not moving. So when our previous FLOTUS was getting the schools in action, that was a great thing. And you're doing that with the kids with being aware of the fitness, letting go of those McDonald's and getting them
Yes.
out there in action. So your foundation through a beautiful, beautiful event, a father and daughter dance. How did that come
Yes.
about?
Well, actually, the father daughter dance came about. I have a 17-year-old daughter. She just had a birthday last Saturday, and yes, we went to Disney and she celebrated. So she's a Star Wars junkie. It's amazing how Star Wars has just gone through every generation.
Every
So now,
generation.
yeah, yeah. So she loves Star Wars. So, but my daughter, I've coached her. She's been we've done a lot of things together. So I would always notice people having events, father and daughter. So I was like, hey, I'm passionate about it. And sometimes you can look at other people do things and you say, so that was another part of it. So with all that being said, the father and daughter dance was launched in 2012. Was my first one, and I actually did it at a local church, and it had great reviews, and everyone loved it. So now it's just something that's part of the Tyrone Poole 38 Foundation.
It's wonderful. If you go onto his website, www.tyronepool38.com, you will see some beautiful pictures of the different fathers and daughters that were at his event. It looked every bit of amazing, and it also just highlights that foundation, parents being involved with their children, especially our fathers being involved with our girls. And that is just a highlight. And they just look like little princesses, little queens in the making. I loved it. It was so beautiful to see. So, Mr. Poole, what do you want the people to know that you're going to, besides your event, August 1st, 2nd, is there any other upcoming events you have that you would like for them to know about?
Well, there's so many events coming up. I just finished an event with the mayor of Atlanta, Kasim Reed. They had a golfing event where it sponsored donations were given to help give away scholarships to kids. So I was a part of that. I have another event. This one is going to be in Toronto, Canada. This one is another golfing event that actually is going to help sponsor disability, people with disabilities. The Disability Channel, which is a organization in Canada, their purpose is to give jobs to those that are disabled.
Okay.
So I'm being a part of some great organization, teaming up with people that really care about other people. But other than the seminar, which I'm totally focused on that, that is where the move, the success, the launching pad for greatness in the youth are going to be developed. So that is very important to me right now. But there are a lot of things that are coming up in the future.
Well, Mr. Poole, I want to thank you so much for spending your afternoon, just a little bit of your afternoon with me and the Black CEO community. One thing that I always ask the people that I speak with, what is the one advice that you can give the person that is working to launch their dream, that's working to do something better that they're doing now, and to give them that motivation to get into action? What could you let them know?
Well, I would tell them that it's a journey. It's a journey. It's not a sprint. It's a journey. And you got to have these three principles that I've learned if you want to be successful. Because along the way in that journey, there are going to be breaking points that can deter you, breaking points that can make you quit. And if you have these three principles that I've learned, I think it'll help you. Or these three words: if you got passion, if you have proper planning, and you have the right partners, then you just increase your opportunities to be successful. So passion, you got to have a strong emotion or feeling about something. And then planning, you got to properly prepare whatever it is, properly prepare it to make it successful. And then you got to have the right partners, the right people that have a mutual agreement and a mutual interest in what you are passionate and planning for. And with those three things, I think you enhance your chances of being successful in whatever it is in the walk of life that you are pursuing.
And when you said passion, when people ask, well, what's the first thing I need to do when I'm about to start a business? And the first thing people want to say, oh, you need a business plan, tax ID. They get into all the technical. And the first thing I say is passion. I said, because that passion is what's going to keep you driven when stuff start going wrong, when it don't start adding up, when people start saying, you can't do that, when all the negatives start stacking against. Business plan is not going to keep you pushing. It's the passion that you have. And I love that. So absolutely. And thank you, because that was definitely something that I took from that as well. Black CEO community, this has been an awesome afternoon to have the opportunity to sit here with a Super Bowl champion in his own right, author, just a great individual that is out here paving the way and doing positive things in his community. Tyrone Poole, thank you so much for being on my show this afternoon. Um, Everyone, you know how I usually do it. If you have something that you're sitting on, get off of it. You know, I'm going to tell you just straight up real deal. Don't sit on your dreams, your passions. If you want something to do out there, if you want to do something out there, just do it. Put your blinders on and you go straight ahead. And you do not stop until you get where you want to be. This is your girl, Nefertiti, Black CEO, your eye reporter. I'm out. Thank you, Mr. Poole.
All right. Thank you.